The cold wind howled over the pumpkinfield, as if foretelling disaster. Heavy clouds covered the sky, and only occasional rays of light broke through, illuminating the field with a ghostly glow. Jane shivered, wrapping her jacket tighter around herself. She hated this place, but she had to come here often, because her family had owned these lands for generations. Every year before Halloween, Jane was overcome by a strange premonition, as if something terrible was about to happen. And, unfortunately, her premonitions always came true. She slowly walked along the path leading through the field, carefully looking around, and it seemed to her that someone was watching her from the darkness. Suddenly, Jane stopped, noticing something strange ahead. Upon closer inspection, she gasped. A body lay on the ground. When she approached, she was gripped by horror. A horrific pumpkin mask was carved on the face of the dead man. Jane recoiled in terror. She knew what this meant. Another victim of the curse that loomed over this field. Every year, on the eve of Halloween, bodies were found here with pumpkin masks carved on their faces. No one knew who or what was behind these murders, but all the local residents were convinced that it was the work of a curse laid on the field many years ago. Jane hurried away from the field, barely holding back tears. She ran without looking where she was going until she finally reached home. Bursting into the house, she immediately told her parents everything. Again, Jane's father sighed, shaking his head. This curse won't go away. We have to do something. But what? Jane cried in despair. We've been trying for all these years, but nothing helps. People keep dying. We need to find the answer, her father said firmly. This field has been cursed, and we must break that curse before it destroys us all. Jane understood that her father was right. They had to do something about this. But what? The girl didn't know where to start. The next day, Jane went to the local library, hoping to find some information about the curse that loomed over the pumpkin field. She rummaged through all the books on local history, but found nothing specific. They all only said that many years ago, a local witch was killed and buried on this field, and since then it had become cursed. Disappointed, Jane was about to leave when an old, dusty volume on the top shelf caught her eye. She took it and opened it. It was a medieval book on witchcraft. The pages were yellowed and worn, but the text was quite legible. Jane eagerly read the lines, feeling her heart pounding wildly. According to the book, to break the curse, they had to find the witch's grave and burn her remains. Only then could they get rid of her evil spirit that tormented this place. The girl hurried home and told her parents about her find. Her father listened to her with a serious expression, then nodded. Then we need to find the witch's grave. That's our only chance. And they set out to search. They dug the earth, examined every corner of the field, but found nothing. It seemed that the witch's grave was well hidden from the prying eyes. Finally, after several days, Jane noticed a small depression in the ground, at the edge of the field, almost hidden in the tall grass. She called her parents, and they began digging in that spot. Soon, their shovels hit something solid. Jane's heart pounded as they pulled an old, cracked coffin out of the ground. Inside, as expected, were the remains of the witch. They were dried and blackened, but still emanating a sinister aura. Without wasting a moment, Jane and her parents pulled the coffin out of the ground, dosed it with flammable liquid, and set it on fire. The flames flared up, illuminating the surroundings with an ominous light. It seemed that agonizing screams were coming from the coffin, but Jane paid no attention to that. She knew she had to see this through. When Witch's remains were completely burned, Jane felt the tension in the air begin to subside. It seemed that the curse had finally been broken. She sighed in relief and hugged her parents. Now they could finally breathe freely. There will be no more victims, no more horror associated with this cursed field. They had won. But for some reason, Jane felt that this was not the end. She felt that somewhere out there, in the darkness, the witch's evil spirit was still waiting for its moment to return and take revenge. And she knew they would have to be on guard to protect their family and all who lived in these parts.